The following stream has been approved for all puzzle audiences by the puzzle general community.
Alright. Hey guys, how's it going? This is Cards of the Heart, and welcome back to Puzzle General's coverage of the Pokemon Puzzle League Speedrun Tournament 2020. I say it's our coverage, but we are, in fact, hosting this tournament. So this is our tournament, and we are trying to bring as much of it live to you as we can. And to help bring us the live action for this race in Group C between foxyman52 and kariohki. We have first Tetris Attacker joins us this evening.
Hey Cards, how you doing?
Doing wonderful, and we've got a new person joining us for the commentary on this one. Please introduce yourself.
Hey everyone, this is the one and only Dark Aries. Not really new, because I've been here for a while, but I'm going to be new to this tournament here, and I'm pretty excited. The last match was actually really hype, and really excited to see what this live match is going to be all about right now, so...
Yeah, if you guys didn't catch the previous match between Six and I Like Being Smart, that should be up on YouTube by the time the YouTube audience sees this match. So you definitely want to tune into that, and you're definitely going to want to tune in to this Group C matchup between Foxyman and kariohki. This group only has 3 players, so there are only going to be 3 matches to decide who takes the top 2 spots to move on to the bracket, so every match in this group is going to be vital. But if you have not seen how this game has been played before, and chances are there's always going to be someone that stumbles on to this without any advanced knowledge, let me try to explain how this game is played. Pokemon Puzzle League is a Match 3 puzzle game first released for the Nintendo 64 on September 25th, 2000 in North America and March 2nd, 2001 in Europe. It was re-released on the Nintendo Wii Virtual Console in both regions in May 2008. It is a Match 3 puzzle game in that if you match at least 3 of the same panel either horizontally or vertically, the panels will disappear. To win, however, you need to do more than just simply match 3 at a time. You need to make combos and chains to not only prevent your gradually rising stack from reaching the top of your playfield for a time, but also to send garbage to your opponent to make their stack reach the top of their playfield. You make combos by matching more than 3 panels in a row at the same time. They don't keep your stack from rising for very long, but they do send small garbage to your opponent that can prove to be very disruptive. You make chains by linking sets of 3 or more matches together. Make a set of panels disappear, and then have the panels immediately above them fall into another match. Not only does this keep your stack from rising for a longer period of time, but it will make thicker garbage blocks that will be more effective at actually filling out your opponent's stack to the top. If your stack reaches the top of your playfield and the game tries to break your stack through the top, you lose. So you want to avoid this at all costs and force it on your opponent as much as possible. To beat these computer opponents, you'll have to either make sure that they run out of time while their stack is completely topped off, send so much garbage to your opponent so they can no longer make a move, or send garbage to your opponent in such a way so that they think that they can no longer make a move. Hard mode contains 15 stages, and V-Hard and S-Hard have 16. In this tournament, players will be racing through those stages to get to the end as fast as they can. The first player to defeat the final opponent wins the race. The first player to win 3 races wins the match. Best of luck to all of our players. So let's talk a little bit now about how this tournament is going to be conducted. As I said there, all of the matches in this tournament are best of 5. No matter what round we play, it will take 3 race wins to win a particular match. So you will be on the lookout for that if you are trying to keep up with who is winning at any particular point. We are starting in a round-robin group stage. We have 4 groups, and because we got 14 people signed up, we had 2 groups that only had 3 players in it, and that is what we are going to see with Foxyman and Karaoke. And for this group stage, we are playing on the hard difficulty. It's a nice way to get into the game slowly without it feeling insultingly easy. Like, normal and hard mode tend to feel insultingly easy, so I decided to make everyone start in hard difficulty, and players will have 4 weeks to finish all of their matches. So this group stage will be going on no later than October 4th to get these matches in, and then once a week has passed after the conclusion of the group stage, we will move on to a double elimination final bracket with the top 2 players in each group. But we can talk more about that portion of the tournament as we get there. So let's take a closer look at our competitors. Foxyman playing on his Wii Virtual Console emulator against Karaoke playing on her N64, and Foxyman hasn't been in a Puzzle General Tournament before, but he's definitely come on and adjusted to this speed very, 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 very quickly. Definitely emerging as one of the favorites in this tournament. Do you guys agree with that sentiment?
Yeah, Foxy's definitely someone to watch, and someone who simply watching him play has already been, very exciting. The speeds and skill that's already on display. I think it's best summed up by the reactions of our number 1 and our number 2 seed, who both seem scared to death. So I think that's a great thing.
I'm going to buck the trend here. I'm going to go full-on Karaoke. I think Gary's going to be a little bit of a pain this match, and I think we're going to have some interesting stuff. That's my bet.
Oh man, we have already seen Gary wreak havoc in this tournament, so yeah, I would not be surprised to see some of that either. I don't know if it'll be enough to overtake the sheer speed advantage that Foxyman has, but it will definitely help to make these races be a bit more interesting than they appear to look on paper. So I
think the first match and this whole round will show that the underdog is the player and the favorite is Gary.
Yes, Gary the Second does find a way to win just about all of these races, doesn't he? Well, let's not waste any more time. I will go and get these players ready for the first race, and I will turn it over to TA and Aries to call this first match in just a few seconds.
Thanks, Cards.
These transitions, so slick. feel like we need some Jeopardy music here just to give the vibe to the moment as we wait.
Getting this all set up here, yeah. Though I will say, PPL music can be just as time anxiety-inducing as Jeopardy music ever was.
To be fair, this game does have pretty awesome soundtrack as far as puzzle games go, and I think we just started.
Looks like it.
All right, there was a little bit of glitchiness there on Foxy's. I guess Virtual Console's a bit more buggy than I remember. I haven't.
Yeah, Virtual Console and emulators all kind of have that flash between levels, but an early 11 coming out the gate there. We're starting out strong, that's for sure.
Yeah,
Kariohki having a little trouble with Gary 1 over here, getting him topped off. He's if you don't get him right away, he tends to stick around on you far too long.
Yeah, there generally is a strategy. I don't remember the strategy because I am actually not the greatest at this game, and even if I tried it, I don't know how good I would be. But I know that in the harder difficulties, there is the whole start it off with a combo, go it down because you're trying to manipulate the AI and everything. So we'll see if any of that actually comes into play in these matches here. Everybody generally plays with their own styles, you'll realize, watching all these matches. So
that's the beauty of hard mode in particular, is that the S hard quick kill strat, doing a 4 combo and then running in that chain with 4 combos behind it, so you end up with 2 3-wide blocks on the bottom underneath your chain garbage. It is viable even here in hard mode, but the beauty here is that, especially as we see both of these players, that's not the only workable option here. Spamming a strong combo or a strong chain to start with some combos, spamming hard on combos, even what I consider overchaining, where you're just dropping something huge. Not all of them are the best in every situation, but they're all viable, and it's all playstyle dependent. And I think we're going to get some good differences here, and we're already seeing a little bit of that with Foxy here. Going a lot smaller chains than is perhaps the more typical strategy here. Only going a 3 times chain on that last one.
yeah, one of the things that you'll find a lot of players do, at least on the more advanced level, is that they pay attention to the opponent's side, and that way they can kind of time the best point to break their chains to send over the garbage. And that can be a lot of the play style as well. It's something that I feel slower cursor speed players capitalize on a lot more to kind of maximize the speed that they do have.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's something that lower cursor speed drives you to have to pay attention to it, and that is a skill that a lot of players, myself included, have a lot of work to do to really get. I come from a Tetris Attack background, where watching your opponent and dropping at the right time is important. In this game, it's vital, and if it's a skill you don't have, it's a skill you got to pick up. And it's already clear that both of our players here have some good stage presence as far as screen watching, peeking over at that opponent's screen to try and drop at a good time. Foxy in particular, even with that long 42-second stage there, still ripping through, dropping things in quick succession, in timing to try and get that rhythm and get those blocks in a vulnerable position of the opponent there.
Yeah, you'll see that he's definitely ripping along. Right there, just 16 seconds on the stage.
And that was the S hard quick kill setup with the two small blocks underneath. Worked out well for him there.
Yeah, it's always crazy when you kind of watch these tournaments, because you have to realize it's only a little bit over 4 minutes in. Foxy's on stage 7, Kariohki's on stage 4. But if you think about it, we're not even 4.5 minutes in yet. So the pace that these players are going is insane compared to just like a regular casual level of somebody picking up the game for the first time and be like, oh, I'm playing.
Yeah, a good fast round here on hard for pretty much anyone in this tournament is going to be in the 15 to 30 second range. Obviously, shorter is going to be better. 23 from Kariohki there to close out Surge is a really fast time for a casual player, and we're burning and churning through all 15 stages here in this hard mode here. 16 stages in the later modes, but right now it's just the 15. But we've got some definite movement, a lead being created here by Foxy. He is favored in this match. He's got the cursor speed and the board awareness that shows you why. But this is by no means over with even with this lead. We've seen already in this tournament, just a couple rounds matches in, some of those late, starting with basically Tracy, going all the way through Gary. There's always a chance that someone's going to troll for a minute and a half, frankly, even longer. If you want some horror stories, I'm sure Taman has a few that he can lend to us here. Closing out Koga over there on Carrie's side.
The Kariohki has, had a little bit of a rough start, but that was just the 17 right there. The previous one was like, what, a 16? Coming quick on those heels right there.
Getting into a groove for sure. I wonder if, do you think a little bit of a warm-up is something that matters here, or maybe tournament nerves? Or?
It's probably a mix of both. Definitely a warm-up. I know just any game that you play that requires quick kind of movement, if you don't warm up your hands prior, you suffer a lot. And depending on how much they practice beforehand, even if they had a break before just, to do anything, that kind of, you got to re-warm up your hands to get into that groove. But also, it is the first tournament match. It's actually the first live tournament match, so it's not even like, oh, nobody's going to watch this for a little bit. I get to hold the score close to my heart, right? A little bit of some live jitters going on there, but definitely doing a quick comeback. I mean, the gap kind of hasn't really grown more than what it was at the start when it kind of got that jump start from Foxy right there. So it's a good steady pace. I'm liking what I'm seeing.
Yeah, and some good, and the chat calling out there, some nice falling tech there. If you're able to slide that block in the middle as that garbage turns back into usable blocks, able to slide it in between, and it drops in to create a chain where there probably wasn't one. Foxy's definitely grabbing that. I've seen a couple of those from Kariohki as well already. We're sitting around that same gap here, about 3 stages, but as you mentioned, the gap hasn't really widened, and we're entering the RNG heavy portions, the randomness heavy portions of these of this round here. Big pile up over there on Foxy's side. Had to muscle through a little bit there, but Richie not giving him too much problems at all. Meanwhile, Kariohki's got to get topped off over here on Tracy. There we go. Oh, got the match.
I'm gonna take you down. Can't win them all. Way to go!
And Foxy, there we go. Not quite getting topped off on Lorelei. Lorelei is trying to make him pay for it there. Burning that little bit of extra time. Might be able to make this match. Yep, there we go. And as mentioned before, if they're able to get that, we're looking at a longer round. And part of that is extra ammunition to work with, buying a little bit of time. Part of that is the extra stop time. And this particular game, especially here in hard mode, has a way of having long amounts of stop time for your opponent. So that's when it gets to the top and they should be done, but they get a little bit of extra time to try and finish it. And you build that up off of chains and combos. And while stop time on your side of the board is great, stop time on their side of the board just burns time.
Ooh, that is a super quick stage right there. 11 seconds.
11 Bruno is really nice. Take it every time.
All right, this is where I put my foot in my mouth. If it happens, let's see if Gary's a good boy.
Way to go!
A long stage right there, 1:04, but you know, catching up.
Show me what you got. Way to go!
Gary's not going down without a fight. Gary 2 never seems to. At least not when you need it.
I'm gonna win! Way to go! Show me what you got. Show me what you got.
Foxy can't catch a break on Gary here. All right, let's see if Karaoke can bring in some of that. Oh, got a 15 right there on Giovanni. That's what's going to be needed over there. And another clear by Gary.
Oh, nice.
And a lag chain from Gary too.
This is a good boy, Gary.
Showing the speed tech from the AI.
Show me what you got.
Another match.
I'm gonna win!
Keeping the door propped open for Karaoke here. A few stages behind, would really need still some more help and some really quick stages, which it's not looking like that right now on Richie unless Karaoke can get something
I'm gonna win!
pushed out the door here. But Gary refuses to go down on Foxy's side over here.
Show me what you got.
It just keeps going. I think this is the longest stage Foxy has had so far this whole speedrun.
Yeah, he had I think a 104, but this is by far his longest stage. Meanwhile, Karaoke clears another stage, getting through Richie and moving on here.
I'm gonna win!
Only 2 stages behind now after this epic over 2-minute now Gary.
Just continuing those combos and chains.
I'm gonna win!
Keep up the Gary please there in chat. We're getting plenty of them.
I'm gonna win! What you got. I'm gonna win! Way to go!
FFR there in chat calling out that the other night in a race I had I had a 4.5 minute Gary 2, so I've personally felt this pain. Hopefully Foxy can get him finished off well before that point. another clear from Gary. Karaoke's gotta get Lorelei topped off over here. Not a lot of working space for Lorelei. Looked up second tier and then came back down. But there it is. Foxy finally got it. Gary 2 finally goes down. 2 minutes, 55 seconds for a race official time of 13:03. Wow, that Gary just would not give it up. Karaoke working, finishing strong here. Getting into Bruno. What happened? What went wrong there, Aries? What did you see?
It's a very good question. I generally don't see a lot. Oh, I did see that just finished at 21 seconds.
Clear.
I can see that. You know, I need one
Solid
of those
Bruno.
ads
I like it.
where it's like the contacts or the glasses. Now you can see everything. Or like those allergy commercials. Now you can see all the combos and chains.
There we go. Well, Gary 2 has a way of trolling. I didn't catch a big mistake, but sometimes a big mistake isn't needed, and Gary will just get you and just keep going. A couple times in that round, it seemed like Foxy had trouble getting him re-topped off after that first wave, and that's always tough here. In hard mode in particular, you kind of get in the groove of those 15 to 30-second rounds, you know, even if it's a little slow. And once you start getting past that, it's just trying to get enough going to finish it off. And there, Karioki finishing on her side with a 14:38 official time. That is a solid showing.
Yeah,
And
only a minute and a
already
half
we're
difference.
witnessing that Gary too.
That is definitely, if everything aligns correctly, that is definitely winnable in that time frame. Just gotta keep the stages as minimum as possible. Don't get too flustered when things kind of get on the longer side. Keep at it, and Gary will be a good boy and keep this all entertaining, just as planned.
Yeah, the follow up. You've got your first salvo that you throw at your AI opponent there, and you get that little bit of immediate follow up. But that next wave is the one that mentally perhaps you don't think you'll need, but you have to, in a setting like this, you have to make sure you're really winding up and hitting that next one, so that you can avoid wherever possible. In this particular case, sometimes, and we'll see it a few times, I think. Sometimes the AI just chooses not to agree, even if you do everything pretty much right.
Yeah, the AI is always kind of like a little bit tricky. You expect it to do one thing, and then it just happens to decide to do something else. Or it'll try to go for one thing, and it decides halfway through, you know what? I think there's something else. And it's just... it either works out in the end or doesn't.
Here we go. Starting round 2. Again, this is a best of 5 here. So let's see how this rolls out after the quick win from Foxy. Well, wasn't as quick as he'd hoped. I think he might want to hit Gary 1 for the sins of Gary 2 last round, and that 12 would do it.
Oh.
Meanwhile, a 12 on Karioki's side, keeping this tied up through one stage.
All right, now I'm expecting just every single stage to have the same time. The expectations have been set. I'm ready.
Wow, nice lag chain going on over there, and Foxy was able to drop a 5 chain in the time of a 4 chain, drop it right away, and get that 11 on Brock. Meanwhile, Karioki might luck out here. One more line. There we go, 22.
Way to go!
Keeping going with the chain combo all at the same time from Foxy's side, cutting that chain off to make sure everything dropped. I think that was the right move there, getting the 14 instead of keeping to build up the chain and giving Misty time.
Yeah, that's always a hard thing to, I think, for newer players to kind of understand, is when to cut off your chains, because I mean you can send question mark chains if you're good enough, but that's not going to end to a quick stage. It just means you can make a really long chain.
It's oh so satisfying, but it does not result in quick time, so sometimes that's not what you want. You want to cut off that chain. Another good quick round there from Foxy at 16 on Surge. Misty at a 37. Karioki's about one stage behind, but that was just one bad stage that can easily turn back around with a 2-minute plus Gary if we have that again.
Way to go! Way to go!
Wow, an 11
boy.
to follow it up.
All right, so Foxy at this point has just been going for the keep everything in the tens chain with the stages going on. We'll see how high of a multiplier they can get.
Yeah, it's been mostly 5x and 6x chains with combo sprinkled in so far. There was a 4x, but that was enough, so there's another 11.
Oh.
Karioki getting that surge. He's trying to troll again, but got a little bit too much up top there.
Karioki has been keeping stages below a minute, so definitely just trying to keep things as lean as possible on that side.
If they're gonna take you a while, at least limit the damage, and doing a very good job of that, keeping in this race.
Because yeah, if Gary decides to be a Gary at the very end there, as long as there's enough free time banked up, Karioki can take the win.
I think Karioki's playing a lot smoother if that long Gary from last round were to appear, and Karioki were within 2 stages instead of 4. It might have been a lot more interesting, and Karioki's wanting to make sure that she's got that chance.
Yeah, last match it was kind of like a kind of 3.5-ish stage differential here, but now we're sticking to like 2.5-ish stage differential, so it's a lot closer this time.
That 14 on Blaine, we're having Foxy doing his darndest to make an insurmountable lead here. Let's see if how much he can build, and if he can avoid the troll.
Way to go! Oh man!
That drop in there. So that's part of what we talked about with the having 2 4 combos in there. You do a 4 combo and then that slip in, turning the 3 into a 4 to start the chain off and we got the S-Hard quick kill on Tracy with that low block over there on the right side. Yes, there was available blocks to work with on the left, but the AI doesn't know what to do with it because it's all above a garbage block.
Just love the AI's thought process right there. Oh, well, let me just go up into the void, because that's useful when I'm in stop time.
Much better overall AI in this generation overall, but certainly introduced a few odd quirks that a runner or a player can definitely take advantage of. That quick kill setup, the AI just doesn't know what to do with it. Solid 28 there from Foxy on Team Rocket, not letting them be too much of a troll.
That is a bit of a slowdown from the previous stages, though, so hopefully Foxy hasn't run out of steam halfway kind of through all this. It is tiring when you have such a high cursor speed, so you never know.
I know while they were waiting for the match to begin, I know Foxy was getting some extra practice in there. Hopefully that was good warm-up practice. Looks like that 15 with the quick kill setup as well is still paying off. So hopefully that was good warm-up and not overextension and tiring out there.
Yeah, because unlike other games that kind of have where fast cursor speed would be super useful, the analog would basically be Tetris. And in the NES Nintendo Tetris specifically, with hyper tapping, that skill here would be super useful, but it's also super tiring on your hands, and a lot of those Tetris players can't keep up with it after a certain amount of time. The PPL and panel to pawn games in general are a lot nicer. You don't have to be that fast. You can calm down a little bit.
Yeah, the board awareness and finding matches and pattern recognition and as we mentioned earlier, watching that screen of that opponent and your timing are all just as important, if not more important, than raw cursor speed. A hyper tap type of technique like used on Tetris could certainly yield some advantages, but would be much more limited in scope. And thankfully, we don't have to deal with too much of that overtiring. But a few matches in a row usually isn't a problem, but a little bit too much in a row, coupled with maybe some nerves, with some saltiness. You know, if that Gary's getting to him, all possibilities of getting you a little bit, maybe even more than physically tired, maybe mentally tired.
There is a good point brought up in the chat by actually Six, that the N64 D-pad isn't actually really conducive to hyper tapping, and it's kind of weird. It goes along with the whole play style that different people have as well. There are people who absolutely love the N64 D-pad. It is the D-pad for them. Give me an N64 3-prong, I will play this game. And there's others who, you know, adapt Super Nintendo controller, Wii Classic controller, all that stuff, because it just doesn't do it for them. So that's also a lot as well. You got to get in the right play style groove that suits you, but you also need the right controller that suits you. Get a little bit of accessorizing going on there.
I am not a fan of the N64 D-pad, but I know there are a good number of people who are. And I don't know what Foxy plays on, being on the Wii VC version of this. Might use an N64 controller, might not. But certainly so far, given the qualifying times, given the matches so far, it's not slowing him down yet. A lot of garbage going on there. Nearly got the crush kill on Karioki's side. A lot of garbage got that kill on Rocket. And here we are on Gary, making some matches again. Let's see if he keeps it up. Oh, he burned out all of his ammo. Unless he goes second tier. Oh, he didn't have time. And there it is.
That was definitely a quicker... Oh, yeah, buy it. Now that the official time is up, that is such a quicker round. Holy moly. That is almost 4 minutes right there.
And 950. The quicker Gary 2 accounts for a large chunk of that, but not all of it. Foxy just playing a lot smoother through most of that round. Avoided the really bad trolls. Had a couple 40 to a minute rounds in that first one. I think his longest round on this one was I think 140 and then a 32. Keeping those long rounds within reason and kept that time a lot cleaner. 950, a great race time there.
I also just realized that we are only 10.5 minutes in, so that is such... It didn't clue in how big of a gap that was until now. Karioki's on stage 12 here, still doing a really good pace. Probably will end up somewhere around the time of the first match. So, you know, definitely keeping that consistency, it looks like. But that's such a gap for Foxy. Holy moly.
And Foxy has shown, looking at the qualifying times and some of the matches that he practiced before this tournament, has shown that's just the beginning for him. 950. We're expecting to see a number of numbers quite a bit lower than that. Which, quick aside, that scares me quite a bit being in this group. I'm actually the other member of this group, so I have yet to face and will be facing both of these racers in the coming weeks. So getting a little bit of a preview, and Foxy's skill is evident and worrisome to me.
Well, now you have that commentator's advantage where you get to analyze, study their play styles. You know, you're going to make a binder, write down, all right, so Foxy does this and Karioki does that, and I need to do this. You know, get the PPL playbook going on.
I need to go fast, and I need their Gary 2 to be over 2.5 minutes. Apparently, that's what I need, is what I've gathered so far.
You got to start investing research and development into controlling other people's games. That's just what it has to happen.
Aries coming up with the real uses for RNG manips. You know, you hear about manipulating RNG to get good luck on your own runs, but no. We got to find a way to manipulate it to give bad luck to your race opponents. That's conniving and evil right there, worthy of Giovanni, I think.
Just makes logical sense. That's all I'm saying. Actually, Karioki here has really good potential to end up being quicker than the first match, so long this and the next stage go well.
Certainly a good setup. Got it topped off right now. Getting a little bit of action from Bruno, but as long as Karioki's able to keep pressure up top, it's going to get that kill eventually here. There it is. 48 seconds. Running around average for these late stages from the last 2 rounds, but making sure to keep that pressure on, keep a consistent a number here on that end number. Yeah, like you said, certainly has a chance to improve a little off of that round 1 even.
Way to go! Way to go! Way to go!
I'm kind of wondering, more in a general sense, but not even right now, although it pertains to Foxy, waiting for that next match. That's an interesting conundrum right there. Whoa!
Oh, and a 19 on Gary. Wow.
Pokemon rule!
Took him down fast. 14:06 official time. That was a nice little improvement. Karioki's got a good solid consistency with that time, but little by little improving. We can only hope that we'll be able to do that for subsequent round here and maybe more if we're able to get some good times and Gary help. But to your point, I wonder what's going through Foxy's head, sitting and waiting for that next race.
Yeah, especially with, like, you want to keep your hands active, right? When you're playing kind of like on these higher skill levels, you don't want to let your hands rest. You're kind of in the groove. You're like a runner, you don't want to stop. You just want to keep going. So that weight is probably so unnerving because it's like, I just want to play. Just let me swap.
Yeah, that nervous energy though. If you don't ever stop, you mentioned potential hand fatigue, especially with high speeds. So it's a double-edged sword there. You got to make sure you ride that line. All right, looks like we're about to start round 3. All right, and it begins. Here we go.
Way to go!
All right, so opening up with a 4 combo followed by another 4. Definitely
Try it.
that S-hard practice, keeping that chaining going for Foxy. Didn't quite get Gary topped off there, and it gave Gary just enough time to make a match on that low block. Karioki got that setup, but not quite enough follow either. 18 on Foxy's side. Coming out the gate with a pretty good time. Not as fast as last round, but let's see how he keeps it up.
Yeah, hopefully it's not kind of foreboding that the stages are going to slow down, but that would be super exciting from a commentary side if it does happen, because changes are good.
I love that drop in 5. Foxy's done that a few times now. Messed up that little bit that he was working on right there, but that combo that wasn't, and then drops in the 1 extra, makes it a 5T combo, is just so smooth looking. I love it. 16 there on Brock, and we've got some good chaining. Cut the chain with a good setup there from Karioki, but not getting much help from Brock herself.
All right, keeping things low with that 26 right there.
Yeah,
Gotta keep at it.
Way to go!
All right, Foxy's got the quick kill set up again, and Misty just didn't have the time to get it. 15. We are exiting one stage while entering on the other side, keeping it close so far.
Also just realizing they're both playing with the PPL tile set with the Pokemon badges. I do believe I can't remember their names right now because I have a goldfish brain. But one of the players in the last match did have the Tetris Attack tile set.
Interesting. I don't know that I noticed that. I was too enthralled with how close their matches were to really take a look.
See, those are some of the things I do notice in them.
There you go. Quick surge kill. 30 on karaoke side on Misty, keeping it within one stage here. Entering almost exactly the same time, a stage apart.
Way to go!
Little early on that drop for Foxy. I think he couldn't find what he was looking for there. But the follow-up is clean. There's a lot of garbage there. And a 17 able to salvage and what I think is an accidental early drop there from what I could tell.
Do you choose to battle me?
21 seconds on
still
karaoke
keeping
side.
it close, yeah.
Absolutely.
Way to go!
Work harder, young one.
Way to go!
Foxy, again, a little light on the first wave, but 2 subsequent combo groupings together and gets the 15. That extra speed and vision to know that he was short and really pile it on afterwards, keeping him in those quick teen times.
Way to go! Way to go!
And a
Ooh.
12 Sabrina. All right, there's Foxy starting to bring it.
Red hot and ready.
Oh. And getting trolled by Erica over there on karaoke side. Had a pretty good setup with not what seemed like not a lot of stop time left. And there's another match. Been able to keep Erica topped off almost this entire time and hasn't been able to get a break. There it is finally. But over a minute of just Erica lucking into matches there.
Erica realized that there was just, some toe-to-toe going on and was like, nah.
Let's get going.
Because, the games communicate like that. We haven't figured out how to do it, but they do it.
Gary too has Erica over on the other side on speed dial. Let's keep this from evening out. I don't know.
Hey man, those video phones that they have, it's super. They're probably just screen sharing matches, honestly. Some Pokemon Twitch stuff going on right there. 13 seconds.
13. And Aries touching on something. I think the Pokemon world invented Twitch before Twitch. I think that's those video phones. I like it. 36 over there on karaoke side on Koga, keeping it within reason here. Certainly has an uphill climb, and will need some more of that trollish Gary 2 luck. But it's like we said, you just got to keep it close enough to take advantage when it shows up, because it will show up somewhere.
Yeah, especially when, 17 seconds for Foxy is a very fast time, but it's not as fast as like those 11 and 12s, and a couple seconds here, a couple seconds there, half a minute there. It all adds up.
Yeah, 18 on Sabrina on karaoke side. Certainly working to keep it close there. And we've mentioned this a few times, but the randomness here in hard mode, it can be really hard to predict what's going to happen, even when you seemingly do everything right. You get a 15 there on Giovanni, and then you feel like you do the exact same thing next round, and it might end up being a minute plus or 2.5 minutes. The randomness really makes this a free-for-all mode. Our best of 5 setup should have the better player go through, but we are going to see in this tournament some matches where the player who's a little bit more consistent and a little bit behind and seems like they're out of it, is going to have that luck turn their way and make for some exciting matches, and perhaps even full round upsets if people are able to keep it close enough to each other.
I'm gonna win.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Got that double
Are you ready?
stage transition right there. I'm a fan. I'm a fan.
way to go.
All right, going in, we're about 4 stages apart, so some of that luck would definitely be needed at this point. But we're under the 8-minute mark, and Foxy's already in Lorelei. So this is shaping up to be another quick round for Foxy, assuming he's able to get through these last couple of troll stages. The stack raise just made my heart stop. I've done that same stack raise and thought I was fine, and suddenly it said I hit the top and took a death. Foxy wanting every line he could get, and got the timing just fine to keep it alive, but I was worried for a moment there.
Yeah, this is an exceptionally long stage right now. Almost gonna be close to a minute, maybe even potentially larger than a minute, longer. Whatever. the
Lorelei, yep,
adjective
Lorelei
is.
found the match there.
Way to go.
This is the thing that karaoke needs, just Foxy to get those really annoying stages.
Yeah, minute 4. We've got two more stages on Foxy's side, a couple more long stages, and that's what karaoke needs to have a chance here. But we're actually, if we're looking at times, karaoke shaping up to once again for the 3rd round in a row, put a small improvement on her time. Obviously, a few more stages still to go, but that consistently improving little by little is really showing on that side, and we'll see if Foxy's able to do the same.
20 seconds right there on Rocket.
Nice.
I'm gonna win. Way to go.
Yeah, these are some longer stages for Foxy right here.
Yeah, the AI actually just topped Foxy off and did it again. Bruno's really trying his best to not give a lot of space, and Foxy doesn't have a lot of stack to work with right now. Once he's able to clear some of this garbage, he'll have plenty of ammunition to lobby a counterattack. But that takes time. You have to wait for the match to hit. You have to wait for all the blocks to clear, and there it is, dropping that return fire. But all of that's taking time.
I was a little bit worried there for karaoke. It did get a little bit of the tile bounce going on with a really high stack, but you know,
And Giovanni got that big, nearly the full height clear. Foxy getting the clear over there. We're at about the 10:35 mark, entering Gary 2. So let's see what he has in store for us this time, with karaoke just finishing off Giovanni. Going for the 4 times chain there with a little bit of bonus combo behind it. Got the setup, but it looks like Gary's found a little bit of the clear there. We've got some towering, and he found the drop clear off of that tower. So this will go a little bit longer at least. We'll see if he keeps finding clears. Yep, there's another. And here we go again with Gary. Hopefully more like that 40-second and not the 2.5 minute. But Foxy doing a good job of keeping it coming so that it's that looked scary.
that was very close to be. That would have been the first self-inflicted loss if that happened.
Way to go.
Ooh.
You don't see a lot of those.
And that interrupted Foxy's a little bit more aggressive, steady stream of garbage, and has left Gary a little bit of time. We'll see if Foxy's able to flip enough around here to get Gary out of the way. Gary finds another clear as karaoke clears Richie and is closing in, is at Lorelei. 3 stages back now. Cut that lead after this long Gary
I'm
here.
gonna win. Way to go.
Oh, but Gary couldn't find a match, and that is it.
I'm a fucking
Riding on the edge there, and Gary finally fails to find one. 12:17 official time, and GG's to Foxy. That is the match. That is the round. And that is a very impressive, I think, first showing, especially as a first timer to one of these tournaments.
Yeah, it's just mind-boggling. But something to note, actually, when you kind of look at those times in the center there, it's something you'll notice actually a lot more. The kind of better you are at the game, the more wildly your finishing times are going to swing. I don't know why it happens like that. There's just something about the consistency. If you're not super, super high up there, you just have that kind of constant time. And then if you're super good, you just... It's those 30-second stages, 40-second stages that just cause such a large swing in the finishing times.
Yeah, 13:03, 9:50, and then 12:17. That first round, that long over 2.5 minute Gary 2, plus a couple longer mid-match stages, mid-round stages there. That last round was maybe a little bit slower than his second, but he was still definitely playing well. And almost the entirety of that extra time can be attributed to that Gary on that one, with that variance there on those late stages.
way to go.
Control your inner
Karaoke finishing strong over here.
I'm
Want to
gonna
make
win.
sure puts in a good effort, and this has been a solid one here.
You
I'm gonna win.
Definitely got a lot of
Got some second-tier strats right there.
a lot of AI not helping.
control your inner nature.
I'm gonna win.
Control your inner nature.
Got to get this Bruno over here off our back.
Control your inner nature.
So far, he has not wanted to cooperate. Going for the 6x
That is a
combo
lot
or
of
chain there. That is a lot of garbage, and it does the trick. That might not be the most optimal method. It introduces some shake time, giving the opponent a little bit extra time. But when you're late in a round and it's been going for a little while, sometimes that's exactly what you need to do, and just fill the opponent's screen, make sure they're topped off, and take advantage. And Karaoke's done that a few times during this match to make sure that a round doesn't keep bleeding and just kind of, go on forever. Kind of just make it stop, put a big chain on it, and maybe they'll get a clear. But most likely, now they're topped off, you're able to finally finish them off.
Show me what you
Here we
I
go,
am
Gary 2
wondering-
once again.
That I've noticed this a little bit because I noticed the weird things in these matches. Karaoke has been kind of doing like an offshoot of that S hard strat. You'll notice every single time there is that little bit of a garbage that starts the match, but there's never any follow up with the chains that happens quick enough. I think that is the part that's missing.
Yeah,
If they're attempting that.
That's what it looks like, and certainly has the setup more consistently than you would think based on the time results. But there's just not enough above that. It'll often be the 2, and then maybe a 2 or 3 more lines of garbage behind that, and maybe 1. A lot of times, Karaoke's already had the 1 more line needed. The eternal refrain from every puzzle gamer for sure, but a little bit extra follow garbage could really make a big difference on these matches. And there it is. There's the finish from Karaoke.
My Pokemon rule.
GG's to both of our runners here today. 16:57 final time on that third round.
Yeah, a little bit of a rough end, but you know, that consistency was still pretty awesome. Oh. On the spot fixes. I love it. You know what? These layouts are so awesome. I don't even care.
Yeah, shout out to Cards for the work that he's done on the broadcast layouts, on the production value here, making these look really nice for us. It's been a lot of work, I know, and it's certainly paying off. It looks fantastic. So again, shout out to Cards and everyone else who's pitched in.
I just love that match time edition. It's such a good thing to have because you can keep track of what just happened. How consistent are they? It's the little addition that I'm just so happy about because you just don't see that. It's like the sports thing where, you know, the previous in sports ball, the previous round or whatever, you know, inning, whatever happens, you know, that was the score. I'm sure there's an analog somewhere.
And there's good stuff to be had from sports ball occasionally. And comment in the chat there. No, I don't believe Cards hired an orchestra, but that would be phenomenal.
Can we? If you know an orchestra, hit me up. Hit Cards up. I want this now.
Get them to do full orchestral plays of Pokemon Puzzle League music. That would be phenomenal. John Williams. Oh my. Taman shooting high.
You know, I'll just settle for the high school band. That's fine. That's an orchestra on a good day.
Yeah, I was in high school band. I don't think I know anyone still in it, but there's some good ones out there. We can find some. Well, what are your... Okay.
All right.
Well, we are setting up an interview with one of our racers today. Aries, what are your... Before we grab them and have them on, what are some of your thoughts?
My foot is in my mouth. I still talk normally, but trust me, my foot is in my mouth. But overall, that was a very entertaining match, and you know, props to Foxy for being you know, super fast, having that kind of 10 sub 20 time consistency overall with a lot of the stages. But also shout out to Kariohki for giving a good show and keeping that consistent time, you know, not letting things get too out of hand and keeping things super manageable, keeping a very good kind of chase during some sections as well. So, you know, a little bit of practice and maybe Kariohki can take out the wins for the rest of this group here.
Yeah, I think that'll be entertaining. I hope not, being the other competitor against Kariohki there, but looks like we got Foxyman here for a post-race interview.
Hey, what's up? Can you hear me?
Yeah, sounds good. How'd that race feel for you there, Foxy?
I don't know if I mean, at the end of the day, I won my matches, so I'm happy with that. But that first and third set, even the second set, just the long last 3 rounds really got to me. But I was playing pretty consistently the second and third.
That second round was clean.
Yeah,
that second round was pretty clean. It was a little bit longer, but definitely you opened up that second round, really laying on Gary 1. Perhaps as a little bit of revenge to Gary 2. That was one of the longest Gary 2s around. Certainly not the longest, but that's that had some time. He just wouldn't go down.
Yeah, and I'd be curious to go back and see what I could have done differently. Maybe I had a weak start, but I just felt like over and over again I was like, okay, surely he's about to die, and then he doesn't, and so just had to kind of play it out.
We
Hey,
were
this
talking
is
about
a PG-rated game. Nobody dies. They are magically defeated or sent to the Shadow Realm. Okay.
They lost. Their Pokemon fainted. Whichever one you want to choose. But yeah, we were talking about that last Gary 2 from round 1 there, and you had a couple times where he just would make a move a little bit too quick for your garbage to fall, and he just wouldn't be topped off. But otherwise, it felt like you were doing it well, and certainly your round 2 and round 3 cleaned up. Even with a long Gary 2 on that third round, you were definitely playing a lot smoother, I felt.
Yeah, I think maybe one of my problems was I was trying to go for more of combo garbage in those later rounds just to top them off real quick. But then as soon as the combo garbage they got cleared, I didn't have enough chain and other stuff that kind of lasted longer to keep them topped off, and that's what led to kind of the longer drawn out games. So maybe I can kind of, moving forward, try to incorporate more chain garbage when I'm kind of hoping that things don't go too long, just to make sure there's never a point that they're not topped off.
Man, during that third round, you had one stage where me and Aries both gasped. You extended as much as you could to try and top them off, and you ended up with only 3 lines of workable blocks and got your screen filled by just a garbage block dump. And that certainly got us on the edge of our seats there.
Yeah, I often, at least with this sort of mode, I focus more on sending garbage as fast as possible, not thinking about dying, and that's bit me in the butt a few times before.
Oh well, absolutely good match. Your play even felt with the one match felt like it improved, and you've certainly put up some really good times in qualifying. I, for one, am excited to see your next match, especially because it's against me. So that's going to be interesting. I hope you improve a little, and I improve a lot, and we have a very close competitive round.
I think just something crazy to point out, if for the viewers that saw Six's matches earlier, his times I don't think were too much different, if not better than mine. Yet he lost a close match to Nicole or I Like Being Smart. Yet I am advancing for this match. So I just think it's like crazy how just the total variance that you have in this mode and in this game can really end in any results.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the time your second round time there, that 950, is going to mostly be good enough to win it. But it kind of, I think a lot of the talent in this tournament here, we're going to have a lot of between those 10 to 13 range on these no reset runs. That's something that I have to make sure that I don't reach for that reset key after Gary 1 takes too long. After I do some PB grind attempts. So
yeah, definitely. Especially once you get to the S hard, V hard, where reset strats become a thing. You don't want to accidentally reset the whole run whenever you're trying just to reset one round.
Resetting on either of those 2 Gary 2s.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, that was certainly an entertaining watch. You were able to put up some good round to round action. You had a few times when the trolling really got you, but for the most part, you were able to keep individual rounds from running away from you too much. Is that something you're going to look at for future rounds, you think, to how that second and third wave might be able to finish them off before it gets too far out of hand?
Yeah, I'm kind of curious, maybe trying in the kind of second wave of attacks, doing like at least 3-4 chain throwing in there, and see if that has some kind of lowers the variance, and you kind of accept that it'll take a little longer to get those out than just straight combos, but see if that helps out. And maybe you'll see the results of that in the next match we have.
Well, I won't be watching your stream while we do it, but I will definitely find out after the fact how that goes for you. At least once I see your times. For those seeing there, we have the Group C updated standings here. A dummy grant is a placeholder grant from our community is not participating in this tournament, but we needed a placeholder for our brackets, so he volunteered to be that placeholder. So we're a group of 3. Foxy and Karioki have completed their match here. There are 2 more matches here in this group. Foxy and myself, Tetris Attacker, and then I also have a match against Karioki that will be coming up, which will decide which of the 2 of us will advance into the bracket. So there's going to be some good action there, and we've already gotten that started here with some entertaining matches here today. Anything else you wanna add before we close out here, Foxy? Any other thoughts from your races today?
I'm excited to see what happens moving forward, just throughout all the group stages. So definitely keep an eye out for those, because I think if the past 2 matches we've seen say anything, it's you really can't. I think someone summed it up well earlier. Really, we're all the underdogs, and Gary is the favorite, and that's good to keep in mind moving forward.
He certainly showed that in 2 of your 3 rounds today. Aries, anything to add here to tack on to the end, or any other questions for Foxy while we got him?
I think you've asked all the questions that I would have really asked. So, realistically, my only question was like, how did you feel when you had that? Oh boy, I might actually just lose this to Gary here right now. That would be a major time loss, but we had that, so the important questions have been asked, and I'm satisfied.
Gary troll questions seem to be the important questions for all of us here. So, all right. Well, for Dark Aries and Foxyman, thank you for joining us. A great match today, and shout out to Karioki for a well played match as well. Definite shout out to Cards of the Heart for helping to organize, and also, as mentioned before, a lot of the visuals and the setup for this stream. And join us on Puzzle General Discord if you want to talk with the players. If you want to join us, just feel like playing some of these games, and follow us on our here on our Twitch channel. Our YouTube is going to restream or repost these races, and follow on Twitter as well. Sign up for those alerts as we have more action coming our way. Throughout the group stages, we've got 2 matches down, but we have a number of matches still coming up over the next few weeks, finishing up before October 4th for the bracket stages. So again, for everyone, thanks for watching, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again soon. This is Tetris Stacker. Have a good night.
See ya.